everyone, welcome back to Barcelona KeenCon 2022. Thank you for your patience as we're now going to get the last winners match out of the way, which is of course the winners finals between the likes of RAISY and maxter. I'm Lethal, joining me with its Ints as always, and this should be another great matchup as well. You know, we've seen how they've been going leading up to this. RAISY's had a very close series against Zeneku earlier on, and maxter was actually able to take Chain not comfortably. It did get his work cut out for him, but also took him in a clean sweep. And you mentioned as well before the broadcast happened is the fact that both these players haven't dropped a single map leading up to the winners finals.
Yeah, but neither of them had a particularly easy time. You know, maxter was playing, as he said, he was playing Chain. It was a hard game, and RAISY could have a loss versus Zeneku as well. So it's going to be a very close match, but definitely the two best players out of the tournament so far.
Definitely is indeed. We're going to see who's going to make it into the grand final from the winners side and who's going to drop down in the losers finals. But we've got the players ready and set for this winners finals match with the first player coming onto the stage, RAISY! And his opponent, none other than maxter! And the fact that, like we said before, neither of these players have dropped a map leading up to the winners final. It's going to be very interesting to see who's going to be able to take it and go to the winners side. And do remember that whoever makes it to the grand finals from the winners side will only need to win one best of 5. If come for the losers, it's 2 best of 5. So whoever goes down does mean there's going to be a lot of stamina for them, which is going to be withheld going up to the grand finals, whoever is able to make it. And I'm sure everyone, including Dramus and Zeneku, who are currently competing in a loser bracket match on the maxter Quake stream, which is the B stream with the rest of the losers matches going on there, will be definitely watching this matchup as well to see exactly what they can pick up.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Like, who would you favor in this matchup? Because I think I was talking with the players about who they favored in this matchup. A lot of the votes were coming for maxter, for RAISY, and most of the Spanish people were voting for maxter.
Oh, really?
And this time around, we actually have the picks and bans done live on stage, as we're seeing right now. And it seems that there are already been 2 map bans, so RAISY banning Insomnia and maxter banning Corrupted. Smartly enough, right? Maxter bans RAISY's best map. Now it's RAISY's turn to pick a map, and he goes with Deep Embrace as his first pick. And maxter, he has to go with probably Ruins, right?
Yeah, it would make a lot more sense considering how well he was playing on Ruins earlier on. And yeah, these picks and bans will be live from every match going forward. So as you can see, Max has actually selected Awoken, which is interesting in itself. The champions afterwards is going to be a totally other story. RAISY has banned a Blood Covenant straight afterwards.
Seems we're still not going to be able to see a Blood Covenant yet.
Maybe one day.
It will happen eventually, and maxter banning Veil and RAISY picking, and I mean, 1 map remaining, it's gotta be Ruins. And champion bans are going underway already, so RAISY banning Athena straight away, which is very smart to do against maxter on Deep Embrace. Maxter decides to go with the Slash instead, so taking RAISY's, you know, sort of meta pick now, and RAISY goes with the Anarchy, so very light champion. All of the light champions for the first map. Second map, let's see what maxter will decide to ban.
It's funny, those 2 champions you'd normally see on Ruins as well. Of course, that's not until map number 3. Then Nyx has been banned on Awoken, you can see on that second map. And for maxter, though, he's very good on Veil and Ruins, so it didn't really matter which one he had. He had a good choice for that final map, and selecting Ruins anyway has been performing a lot better in comparison, as the Ranger will be selected for RAISY. maxter just decided now to see how he would like to try and perform against Awoken, and decided to go for the Strog. Interesting.
Yeah, it's very balanced. I thought maybe you would try to leave the Strog there for the second map, but it decides to go with it for Awoken. And for the the third map, it's the Scalebearer pick, Scalebearer ban from RAISY. As we can probably hear a lot of clapping in the background, I assume the Zeneku versus Chain match has ended.
Yeah, we will keep you guys updated with the scoreline of that. Don't you worry about that unless it's already on the B stream happening. Make sure to stay tuned for that as well. As you said, RAISY has banned the Scale. Max just taking his time to decide who wants to go. Wants to go with Visor, which is an interesting bit. But Visor's good on Ruins anyway, nonetheless.
Good, but it's not good if you're the first one to pick it, because there's a lot of ways to counter Visor. If RAISY decides to go for like a Sorlock, for example, it's going to be very hard for maxter to overcome that. But giving maxter Piercing Sight, he already plays pretty much with Piercing Sight. What can he do if he actually has the Piercing Sight on top of that, you know?
Okay, so he's whipping out the clutch.
That's the best counter for Visor, right? Because it doesn't matter. if you know where Clutch is coming from, you always know where he's coming from, you know where he is. The problem is he gets to you way too fast and he has a shield on top of that. So very interesting picks and bans there. If you get to the third map, I really want to see how that's going to play out.
He's eager to whip out that clutch, isn't he, on Rivers? He did have it selected against Xenoku earlier on, but of course we didn't get to map number 3 to see exactly how it's going to pan out. But we never know. We haven't had a 3-map series yet on main stage, but this could definitely be the first.
I hope we actually go all the way, and if there's anyone who can take RAISY all the way, it's going to be maxter for sure. As I said, I was talking about the players. The players, like the international players, all seem to favor RAISY. We see Ansett saying maxter will be lucky if any map gets close. That's a very convincing prediction there from him. And yeah, maxter seemed to be a lot more favored when he came to the Spanish players, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, maxter style didn't work previously when he played against RAISY at QuakeCon, just due to the fact that RAISY just made maxter feel extremely uncomfortable and RAISY was just playing really unpredictable, so it was very hard for maxter to read his opponent in any way, shape or form. But this is the winners finals, guys. This is going to be a best of 3. We are going to be kicking things off on Deep Embrace. RAISY with the Anarchy, maxter with the Slash. And we're going to be starting things off from RAISY's perspective, using the inject straight away as he's going to go towards the heavy. We'll pick that up nicely. Not going to do any shenanigans with the delay or the timing as of yet. And actually 5 punches to drama, but good LG damage coming up from maxter straight away as RAISY has to back off. Let's get position advantage. They come straight with the LG, only on 14 HP. And will maxter be able to try and clean this up? It looks like he will be able to. Drops down from top mid and gets the first frag on the board.
I love that starting aggression for maxter, knowing that RAISY does not have that lightning gun, so he takes full advantage of having that weapon in his arsenal. Gets the first kill. Oh my god, what?
Oh,
well,
those back-to-back rails they
that is insane. Okay. Maxter. Okay, 2-0. In maxter's aim is showing already, right? The lightning gun for the first frag. Oh, it could be for the third frag as well. Can he get the kill? There's the...
Oh, wow. And RAISY was looking for that next rail because he was in a spot above it anyway. He couldn't get out of the position he was in. He had to try and hit the next one or else he would have been absolutely done in. 1 minute has passed. maxter is coming up 3-0. And maxter is very weak, but he's looking to see if he can at least try and catch him whilst he's going for the heavy. He does not.
I've seen RAISY fumble his jump to the heavy already 2 times, tapping at the start and now again. So maybe not feeling super comfortable just yet. And it's hard to feel comfortable when your opponent is hitting all of the shots, so maxter just has to keep the pressure on, but he's showing very good performance already.
Certainly has done, has got the trail once again. RAISY does have the inject, uses it straight away, but he's trapped in a hard place at the moment. He's going to go back forward, maybe go around the TP, depending on the situation of this little scuffle here. maxter going with the LG again, but it's only on 10 HP, takes him down with the rail. That's going to be a 4-0. Has the heavy, still looking to try and recover as he hasn't got any health bars to find. Hits another rail, just making matters worse for RAISY. He's just back to a very low stack again, and still though, Max is able to read RAISY extremely well.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the strong points of maxter's game. He knows how to read his opponents really well. As you can see, like, he doesn't really ever, like, even when he's strafing, he doesn't look away from his opponents. He's always trying to look at where he thinks they're going to be. That's why he's always ready for double backs and surprise attacks, everything.
Luckily, due to the speed, maxter was going up towards the heavy. He won't be flying high from the LG, but another barrel comes down more towards the light, goes through the murder hole. Good rocket there from RAISY, brings it back. Finally gets his first frag on the board, trying to hit that first rail, but maxter could easily get a 50 if he hits it, but decides not to. He's assuming that he may not be available. Just misses it. Oh, he's hit. No, I got on the easy ones, and there we go. maxter cleans things up there, now up to 5.
Yeah, I don't think RAISY was expecting this kind of speed and aggression from maxter, and it's going to definitely take a while to adjust as maxter searches for the 5th frag on this feed. RAISY just trying to survive for a little bit longer. He's going to be given a few seconds as maxter goes to the heavy to collect it.
I know there's a few players out there who like to try and take their time and stabilize at the very beginning, but it's all gas, no breaking for maxter right from the very beginning. RAISY hasn't got any armor to his name as of yet, but does have positional advantage. Just wait and see where he goes. Good rail there from RAISY, but maxter's still got a huge stack. RAISY's well aware of that. He's stuck in a hard place at the moment. Heavy up will be in the next couple of seconds. He's going to try and contest the best he can anyway, but the problem is, will he get enough done? Not a huge amount, but he didn't really take too much damage for the cause anyway.
Yeah, with this light pickup, now he's able to even the stacks a little bit, and massive LG fight at the top, and maxter comes out on top, switching to the shotgun for the easy finish at the end. 6-1 for maxter with only 3 minutes in.
maxter just picked up the Mega. RAISY gonna stand his ground, but Max is hitting almost everything at this stage. Good little rocket there. Keep maxter away. Oh, 2 HP. Managed to pick up the health bubble. Still, RAISY's just trying to be a bit of a nuisance towards the heavy. Hits the first one, misses the second. But both of them available at this stage. Not anymore after RAISY doing it on the murder hole. 2 health bubbles and a light. Can't complain there. Good recovery from him. But it's after that, another rail coming out from maxter. Looking to try and get that 7 flag. He drops down anyway. Backs away again. Left on 11 HP. One more will do it if he can. But he's just biding his time at the moment. Both of us so weak at this stage. Picks up the Mega, which is going to be huge for maxter. RAISY tries to call around, but maxter catches him straight away. Hits the first spawn rail on the LG. And this is looking extremely good for maxter in this first map.
RAISY should have committed to that Mega, because if he doesn't get it, he's dead anyway 10 seconds later or 5 seconds later. If he gets it, he has a chance to try and come back to the game. He chose not to go for it, and now he's paying with yet another frag. And the rail off the spawn again, maybe 2, there's a second one. And maxter is looking good.
Yeah, he's looking better and good. He's looking outstanding at the moment. What a way to start this winners bracket finals. Now looking to see exactly how he's going to go back towards his heavy. He is up in the next few seconds. Good amount of LG damage. Going to try and circle around. As RAISY uses the inject, trying to keep him at bay with those rockets, but it's not going to do enough to keep maxter away from that heavy. And this could be an opportunity now for maxter to try and get this 10th frag, assuming that RAISY may go through the murder hole. But of course, with RAISY not being that predictable, he delays it a little bit, but hits the nut 60 with that last rocket, waiting for him to go back through to see if he rotates back around, which he has not. But he's done more than enough damage to continue with the pressure to try and contest this heavy as well, which will be up in the next 10 seconds.
In RAISY definitely needs to start getting a couple of frags to be able to get back onto this. And thing is, there's no way for maxter to even make a mistake right now. He's looking unstoppable. He's ready for everything, and with a massive stack and item control that he has, how can RAISY even possibly hope to form any sort of comeback right now?
Well, this is it, and he's delayed the heavy. He's delayed the heavy by about 3 or 4 seconds as well. He's going to go straight for a Mega during that meantime, but at least RAISY hits one rail just to try and keep the stacks as even as possible. But now it comes to the heavy, RAISY know the timing, or know that he's even delayed it at this point. Max is still holding around top mid. Heavy will be at the next couple of seconds. RAISY has backed away, but it's come straight back again with the LG. Can't push through due to the trail there. Left on 33 HP. Max looking to try and stay alive. Hits the first well. Will he be able to hit another one in the end? No, the shotgun from long range will finish up. Max in the end. RAISY will get the second frag, but needs to find 7 more in the next 3.5 minutes. It's definitely a tough nut to crack. He goes for the shotgun straight away. Good shot, good damage as well.
How did he do max damage on that shotgun? I couldn't even see him fast enough, and RAISY just reacted perfectly to it. 3-9. Heavy coming up in 10 seconds. RAISY trying to do a funky rocket jump. Might be able to get the frag port. Oh no, he's bounced below, but the rail lands. Will he go back again? He goes in the shotgun, gets the kill. So 4-9. The comeback is starting to assemble.
And that last rocket didn't do any damage. I think it went through one of the holes on the boards of the floor. 2 minutes 45 left for RAISY to continue his comeback. Now only a 5 frag deficit. Has picked up the Mega. maxter is in a world of trouble, but does have the mobility and speed with the slash to, keep his distance and just do the chip if he gets the opportunity to. And now RAISY just standing his ground, getting ready for this next heavy.
All maxter has to do now is, if he wants to play it safe, just do the opposite of what RMV does at this situation. Don't throw yourself at your opponent.
Comes out with the first rail. Looking to see if he can get another. Both of them are going very aggressively against the Mega, and it looks like maxter gets caught on that pillar. Huge stuff there from RAISY, but just means he can continue with the aggression here, considering the frag was quite clean.
Yeah, 2 minutes for 4 frags in a very small map. 2 light champions and RAISY. Heavy coming up. He's going in. Maxter's forced to leave after having used his ability on top of that. Good rocket by maxter though. He should have an opportunity to attack the Mega, or just to try and do damage. Let's see. He finds him again.
Oh, good rocket. Again, these defensive rockets have been looking so good from maxter. It's not just the rails alone from the first few minutes.
90 seconds. Time starting to whittle down little by little.
Look at that. maxter knows that with the lead he has. He's trying to recover, but also trying to delay the situation as well. Now RAISY's only 3 frags behind, misses the spawn rail, which would have been so important to continue this trend which he's been making over the last 4 frags. So he has been picked up and then literally engaging by Venomous. But the LG was actually very good for maxter. May need to use the inject, yes he does, in case maxter does catch him after he picks up the rail and spawn. And we'll find the top mid again, but he's literally flashing straight through. He's got the trust, so he can't really push up as of yet, but a couple of good rockets, not a huge amount of damage, but enough to make RAISY make a split decision on what he wants to do next. But 45 seconds, it's looking at the realms of possibility now. Now we've only got 45 seconds with those 2 frags required.
40 seconds. RAISY has enough stack to push. He knows where maxter is, just needs to find a way to drop down on him, and he decides to just do it immediately and gets hit with 100 damage in the face for it, and the rail after that might seal the deal. Can RAISY still come back in this game? Oh, he calls the GG, so first map seems to be going the way of maxter with a 10-7 scoreline.
Yeah, RAISY knew that he had to take that frag or go on a chase. If he failed in any way, shape or form, that was going to be it. But the defensive rockets from maxter was just too great for him to continue that pressure. And there we have it. maxter with the first map victory on Deep Embrace over RAISY. A dominating start in that first map to begin with from maxter. Incredible rails left, right and centre. And we said it before that with RAISY, it's very tough with the fact that he will make you feel extremely uncomfortable, but this time round, maxter not phased at all.
Yeah, maxter was the one that seemed to make RAISY very uncomfortable with the speed and aggression that he showed right at the start of the game. Very good offensive rails, and then the defensive rockets, when he had to play defensive, were spot on. Masterclass by maxter, really.
And after seeing a clutch pick on map number 3, I think maxter wants to make sure to try and end this in a 2-0 sweep if he can. Of course, we know that RAISY is not going to give this up sitting down. And just the first 5 minutes, maxter was just all over him. Like every spawn rail he was hitting, just getting so much damage across the board, just denying everything he could. And just being quite unpredictable with how he was going to approach some of those situations. It's great stuff here from maxter.
I think the biggest thing was maxter's rails. They were on in the previous games we saw him in. And now his rail is still hitting everything. It's very hard to overcome a player that's hitting as many rails as maxter is.
It is indeed. So it's a bit of a climb here for RAISY, but we'll be going to Awoken next, straight afterwards, to see what he can do to bring this back. Even though maxter knows if it goes to a map 3 on Ruins, it will be having to deal with a clutch pick with the Visor. He's still pretty good on Visor, but I'm very, it's same. Like, it's a rare occasion, like we do normally see RAISY with a clutch. We see it on Awoken more than not, but seeing it on Ruins, it's like I said before, we've only seen it a few times in tournament situations. I'm interested to see if it gets that far, but the way Max is playing right now, we may not even get that far.
Yeah, if maxter actually 2-0s RAISY down to the lower bracket, that would be... Is it even an upset at this point? Because I would still call it an upset, right? I would even though maxter got 3rd in the Quake World Championship 2022, I would still call it an upset.
I'd call it an upset due to the skill barrier which Max would have to break through in order to, you know, beat the likes of RAISY and all that stuff. Although, and I think that he's kept it so close, so gone.
Although, this is how RAISY usually gets to the Grand Finals. Through the lower bracket, right?
Yes,
maybe at some point it's already like some sort of a mental block to him if he loses here and then goes to the Grand Final again.
Well, it's definitely not normal seeing him go into the Grand Finals from the winner's side, but he still has the opportunity. Still got 2 maps left to play, as you can see. It will be the Ranger versus the Strog pick on the Awoken. And how do you feel like this is going to play out this time round?
Both Ranger and Strog are very good picks for Awoken. I would favor the Ranger just because in Awoken with the Ranger and the orb that he has, the ability really favors Ranger in a lot of areas of the map, because you can, I mean, the rocket jumps are super useful, and then the ability on top of that really helps you close the gaps that there are and go through rooms really, really fast. And Strog, his ability is a lot harder to use. Usually it's more of like either a zoning ability or just a Hail Mary type thing. It's not a map where you can really hide for a long time and use the ability properly. So I don't know how the Strog player will, because even without the ability, you know, Strog is one of the best champions in the game. He's like Ranger. Even without the ability, he has the destroying that he picks up when he kills someone. He has the crouch slide and he has a good stack. So even if the ability isn't the best for this particular map, the rest of the kit of Strog makes up for it.
I think it's going to be the timing of how he needs to use the Pika. There's times in the past where, you know, you can use it however you want to try and push your opponent back or just to feed yourself a bit of damage. But there's times where, you know, if he uses that Pika and RAISY could easily orb straight past and just finish off his opponent, or can, maybe if it's from quite large distance, it's difficult.
You can't use the Peeker while Ranger has the orb.
Exactly.
If you do that, that's suicide. So maxter will be trying to play at a distance until RAISY actually uses the orb, because while Ranger has the orb, there's no way maxter can get close. But the thing is, maxter usually, with his playstyle, he wants to play as far as possible. So the stroke pick kind of makes sense in that regard. And RAISY, it's the other way. He wants to get close and personal. He wants to use the rockets. He wants to use the shotgun and the shaft. He does not want to get in rail fight versus maxter. That's where maxter usually shines.
And we've seen RAISY play multiple styles on Awoken, especially against Xenoku earlier, really slowing down the game to his level to make you feel at, you know, unease, like in a lot of situations. And there's times that he absolutely speeds things up to the maximum. But the problem is against the likes of the Shock, it will be sometimes tough to catch your opponent, but with the orb again, you know, it's not just a cause for damage. And of course, like you said, with the passive ability, the range and not take so much damage with the rocket's going to help him help himself here, there, and everywhere to try and catch up to the Strog if he does have a bit of an issue in terms of that speed and agility he has to play against that Strog. But yeah, there's lots of pros and cons on both of these situations, but I do agree with you, there's definitely a slight advantage playing as the range here, especially with the stack advantage in the item control. It's going to make things a little bit of a rough road here for maxter, but the way he's been playing at the moment, he seems very confident in his rail skills, not even just that map or throughout the whole tale. It's been the entire weekend.
Yeah, I think the only match where he hasn't had the best rail on, it was versus RMV. During the Veil of Night, where RMV was actually out-railing maxter, but outside of that particular map, maxter has had the best rail of the tournament. And I would not be surprised if he takes the rail trophy in the end.
Yeah, he certainly could do, and it's like you see, you know, RMV was the only one to challenge him and just consistently do that. Seems to be a lot more confident than what we saw in those previous maps earlier on yesterday afternoon. So we are going to head into map number 2. We'll be on Awoken, RAISY as the Ranger, and maxter playing as the Strog. RAISY going straight in with the orb as he goes straight through, and that was super aggressive, not something we anticipated.
He only did that because he heard the Peeker coming out. maxter tried to use the Peeker really early on as a way to surprise, but as we said, if you use the Peeker while the Ranger still has the orb, that will happen. And I think maxter was a little bit lucky, so that RAISY couldn't get the kill in the end, because that could have gone really bad for him. maxter just waiting right behind the corners.
Exactly. Maxter being very patient, but also RAISY knowing that...
I like what RAISY is doing, though. He's just trying to stay on that rail side of the map so that maxter doesn't get his best weapon.
Yeah.
But now I think he will allow maxter to get the rail while he collects the LG. Not sure that's a trade-off I'd be willing to make, though. I think I'd rather keep the rail away from maxter. Let's see. RAISY, I think, might know where he is. Oh, if maxter peeks out... Nope, he doesn't. Okay. All crisis averted. Oh, there he is in the end. He does peek out and he hits 2 rails in a row. And he comes down again to try and go for a third. Then RAISY is forced to use the orb to go back to safety.
This is one weapon he's going to be trying to deny if he keeps maxter on the spawn, but not at this stage. Oh, he still managed to almost catch him from the TP.
See, that's why I said going for the LG and allow maxter to get the rail might not be a beneficial trade-off. Oh, but the LG, as I talk about it, look at RAISY's LG. He just hit absolutely everything with it.
Yeah, you saw maxter was whipping his LG a little bit, but he was like, okay, no, I'm not having any of that. I'm going to equalise the scoreline straight away. Comes straight in through with the LG. He's trying to get a bit through as well. Still manages to take him out, even after the rocket and the orb damage as well.
Just like that, maxter just says, no, I will not be chasing your lead. Oh, and even hits RAISY right there. Oh, he goes up to jump out. Okay, he doesn't go through the little hole, but RAISY still gets the kill. So all of a sudden, we got given 4 frags. Mega about to spawn. maxter not deciding to appear just yet, just waiting around the heavy. RAISY knows exactly where he is. Just has to be a little bit careful approaching it because he's starting to lose a lot of health. He does get the heavy in the end and gets the kill on top of it. So 15 seconds now for the Mega. RAISY has a much better stack.
Yeah, RAISY had to play a little bit aggressively onto the heavy as he didn't have a tri-bolt to try and do any initial damage to keep
Oh, misses a shotgun.
Keep maxter away, and he's still done a fair amount so far. Both of them almost an equal stack. RAISY with a tiny bit of a lead after saying that Max to pick up the health bubble from bottom nail. But RAISY's going to be on the hunt straight away, looking to see if he can try and catch him. Does a little bit of LG damage here, still to wait on the heavy. And look at this from maxter, still won that little bout there.
Yeah, he had a very late switch to the lightning gun, but he still hit as much as possible with it. Give himself the frag and equalize the game to a 3-3 scoreline. Now, good position by maxter. Will he try and finish the frag? Oh, he does. He does have the rail. I thought he was going to switch to it, but couldn't find an angle quick enough. 3 seconds for the Mega. He's going to wait it out and try and get position in the heavy right after. Where is RAISY?
Picks up both items. Looking very comfortable indeed. Slowing down the tempo now. He picks up the rocket, finds RAISY straight away. He's got the initial kill. Good use of the Strog as well, going through the TP. Going to go top mid to see if he can try and catch him. RAISY is in that choke point, realizes that, so he'll go back up all the way to the LG. And maxter knows not to try and overstay his welcome in that choke point. It's back to way again, looking to see if he comes from TP to rockets towards the heavy. He has delayed the Mega quite a bit, but RAISY does see it, realizes that it is a little bit delayed. Heavy is up now as well, and I love that read from maxter, not assuming that RAISY's going to go straight for the heavy after his great rail as well.
Look at that rail. The read from RAISY. It's what I was saying, like, he plays as if he has piercing sight on all day long.
One of the hardest people to play against, and it's just your mindset alone, just assuming and thinking that he's definitely going to go from that angle. Takes a lot in, but maxter still looking very good at the moment. RAISY is currently top mid. Max away again, and now that Mega's been taken, heavy will be up in the next 5 seconds. Max's got plenty of time to try and figure out where he's going to come from. Realizes he'll come from bottom mid, raining down a few rockets here and there. LG coming out from RAISY to try and keep him away, as it's already been taken now. Stacks almost equal, assuming that RAISY was going to go bottom nail. He decides not to. He's actually coming to the rail side instead. Misses the first one. Tries to go for the second, but just waiting for RAISY to try and peek out. But it looks like he's not able to due to the amount of tri-bolt damage and the re-peeking he's doing from that rail area.
Yeah, really good spam damage by RAISY. He hasn't been picking up the major items, but the stack difference isn't that high in favor of maxter. And RAISY, good position on the heavy as we switch onto his POV. And 100 tribal damage, this might allow him to push up. And maxter always immediately gets on a defensive position in holding the rail angle.
And RAISY has delayed the heavy by a few seconds, but also maxter has the info on where RAISY's whereabouts is. maxter now just keeping his distance for the time being. So looking to do a bit of chip before he re-engages later on. Just past the halfway stage, maxter still with a 1 frag lead. And remember, he is currently 1-0 up in this series. Both of them using the tri-bolt, but maxter gets the better of him, not taking too much damage. So now he's going to see if he can catch him around the Mega, looking to push on forward. Rocket jumps instead, understandable, rather than avoiding the LG shenanigans from the Mega jump pad, and does pick up the Mega anyway.
Yeah, RAISY knows he needs to start trying to make something happen. Closing out the distance is the first step in achieving that. But maxter, always knowing where RAISY is. RAISY still trying to find him. And it seems maxter is always the one ready, but he goes up the jump pad. The rail pushes him up the jump pad, and RAISY finishes that kill with your. Kicker coming out. maxter, will he pick? It's very dangerous because he doesn't really have any other weapons, and RAISY can just chase forever. Thankfully for maxter, he does have the Stroke with a movement advantage, so he's able to stay alive for a while longer. RAISY now will keep chasing. Another rail. And will he switch weapon? Oh, he's taking so much damage.
The
and
damage.
Now it's oh my god!
As if maxter, considering the stack RAISY had, was still able to take him out. And there was nowhere there for maxter to go, but RAISY has literally got the trade frag straight away. Now 5 apiece, 3 minutes left. RAISY has picked up the heavy. Rocket jumping up, gonna go use the ult to go for the Mega straight afterwards rather than prioritizing the kill, but also keeping maxter on his toes as well. Good use of the shot peeker as well, and maxter cleans him out with a shotgun. Both these players keep having huge disadvantages and somehow doing a complete role reversal here.
Yeah, I think RAISY will be a lot more frustrated than maxter. with all the reversal of the fights that maxter has been somehow pulling with the shots that he's been hitting, especially that one at the rocket launcher. As I thought RAISY had that one absolutely for sure, but he started to fumble with his weapon selection. Maxter took full advantage. Now maxter still in the lead, 2.5 minutes remaining, trying to do some more damage to RAISY, as RAISY is starting to become increasingly more aggressive.
Certainly is, as Maxter's backed away for now. Heavy will be up first in 10 seconds. Very little bit of a nuisance, in a nice little 75 from that peak up.
I like that maxter was ready for the orb. And he got 75 damage on top of that, so he got rid of the orb and he damaged RAISY a lot. Mega up, should be, yep, going in the way of RAISY, so each major item to each player.
It's Maxter now. Only with a tiny bit of a bigger stack. Nothing to really talk about at the moment. Switches to the LG. He's RAISY waiting for him to come back and leaves him B for now. Picks up the light just to try and recover from that last bout. Looking to see, gets him with the tri-bolt. Knows he's getting prepared for the heavy. Exactly the same. RAISY's going to plan to rain some rockets down, but of course, the rail comes out again from Maxter, so he's had to pull back and go for the mega hits with another rail, but RAISY returns one from his own. Both of them missed their second rail. It's going to pretend to orb in to try and keep Maxter on guard, but doesn't fall for it at all. Was prepared for him to go for that TP as well, and RAISY sadly misses another one again. That was a very important rail from RAISY, because now he's going to have a little bit of trouble going for this mega, depending on if Maxter goes for it or not.
Yeah, we'll see as we're approaching now the final minute. Maxter still on the lead. Both major items coming up at the same time, or like very few seconds apart. In Maxter, I mean, RAISY might be able to get both, as Maxter is holding a very defensive position. Gets railed once, so this gives RAISY full liberty to just go as aggressive as he wants. And as I say that, good defensive rail by Maxter.
And the problem is, RAISY has that orb. Maxter knows to try and keep his distance, not just for the kid to keep holding the lead, but to keep away from the orb as well. And any chance for RAISY to try and time this lead. Wouldn't surprise me if it does this go to a sudden death. Here's that first rail, and that's going to be the key indicator. The orb comes in as well. Both players literally trading.
Oh my
3 HP, 20 seconds left. He's picked up the heavy. The question is Maxter going to go for the trade, or is he just going to leave it to the sudden death?
I think he should, because RAISY definitely messed up all of his shotgun shots there. He only got the frag because Maxter ended up doing max damage and actually killing himself in the process with the splash damage from the rocket launcher. But Maxter should know he definitely has the stack advantage right now, especially after the mega pickup.
And RAISY still hasn't fully recovered as of yet. He's not even back to his default stack. And Maxter comes straight through, left on 31 HP. As RAISY now trying to back away as soon as possible. We are going to continue on to sudden death. As Maxter is trying to rocket jump over to see if he can catch him around LG. Sadly, he doesn't get there in time, as RAISY's already gone for the TP. Does have the orb in hand once again. And look at this, both players have a lead. That's going to be 70 HP. He is railable. He's going to try and rocket jump away.
Rocket jump.
And this is absolute man. He's on 46 HP. Max is directly underneath him. Is he even going to try and approach him up? I'm not too sure if he knows how weak he is, but he can try and do it with the peak, and now he's left on 31, still trying to recover. Orbs up to go for the mega, and the mega is still up, and he decides to go for the orb first, and really about to get him. It doesn't matter, he's not railable anyway. Hits the first rail. RAISY picks up the mega.
And look at Maxter, even left the heavy up, knowing that if he picked it up, it wouldn't be full value, but then he has it after. Maxter trying to be aggressive. RAISY. Stacks are very even still. Who's gonna win, Little? Oh, the rail from Maxter.
RAISY and Maxter's gonna come in, but they're both just as weak as each other. They're literally daring each other to push on forward in that bottom rail room, as Maxter has decided to back away. And I'm not gonna lie, that was very, very tempting, but it's hit by another rail. And Maxter manages to take the winners finals 2-0, and we'll be seeing him in the grand final later on. That was an unbelievable way to finish off that second map.
Yeah, so many close moments, and Maxter clutching it out in the end. All of those last 2 minutes were super tense. Both players didn't really have much stacks to play with. All of them were mostly railable for all of the time, just exchanging damage, and Maxter is the one that gets the final blow in and wins the 2-0.
Unbelievable. What a way to finish up that series. And the good thing is he does have to play against Clutch and Ruins.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of hoping to see the Clutch versus Visor matchup in Ruins, but Maxter, he did not want any of those shenanigans.
So it does mean that RAISY will continue fourth, but we'll be seeing him in the losers finals later on. And we'll be finding out his opponent momentarily. But what an incredible... Do you know what? Every single Awoken game we've seen so far on stage over the weekend has been nothing but high class.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been the most played map as well.
Yeah.
I think it's been on almost every single matchup, and it's a really good map that came with Quake Champions. I think it's one of the best Quake maps that we've seen in the last 10 to 15 years. Just plays really well, and it's a very high-skilled map to play on. Like, the map doesn't force you to play a certain type of way. Like in Blood Covenant, you're kind of forced to play Rail. In Veil of Night, you're kind of forced to play Rockets. But in Awoken, there's a lot of creativity to be had.
We've had 3 games of Awoken here today and 3 sudden death situations. Extremely close, but, you know, commiserations to RAISY. There was a lot of instances he did a great job just keeping himself alive, had really good defense, just trying to keep himself away from maxter. But again, for maxter, a lot of patience. Just, you know, there's sometimes in the past where he would have been a bit over-aggressive and to try and close out some of his frags, but yeah, my word, maxter looking
this
super
year,
strong
like
today.
the frag that we just saw with the Rocket, I think that was where RAISY sort of lost the game, because he had so much stack and missing those 2 shotgun blasts, allowing himself to get... He did get the frag, but he was so low that maxter was just able to put so much pressure on him from spawn that RAISY could not handle it after that.
He certainly could not, and what a way to finish off the winner's side. So we will be seeing maxter in the grand finals later on to match against someone who is going to be coming from the loser side. We've still got Zeneku in the loser side. We've still got RAISY as well, maybe Chain or Jammer, so still needs to be updated in terms of what's going on the loser side right now, because it's been very chaotic at this point. But it looks like at the moment maxter is ready for an interview to see how he felt about that winner's finals.
Well, maxter, what an epic battle. What a first map. You established a great lead. You established a great lead against RAISY, but in the second map, it was a great back and forth between you both. And sudden death. Wow, what a final map. How do you feel, man? It's incredible, isn't it?
Well, the same I said when I beat Banger back in QuakeCon. Exhausted because these players are just amazing. The fact that you have to play your 110% of what you have, but man, I don't know. I just defeated the guy that just took me down on QuakeCon. I mean, this is just upper bracket finals. He's really strong, so probably he will play the grand finals against me. I mean, Zeneku is looking really good. RAISY, he's phenomenal. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't have words for what just happened.
Yeah, by the way that you celebrated at the end, I think that you are now you're exhausted, as you said, and you are now focused on the grand final. So, what you're thinking about in the grand final? Are you going to choose similar maps? Are you going to choose similar champions? How do you think that you can beat your opponent, RAISY, or the other player in the lower bracket?
Well, I'm not going to say what I'm going to do for the grand finals, but most likely I will try to just focus on my main game, like I always do, trying to hit the shots, making pressure, trying to be as fast as possible. I will not try to give any easy angles and things like that. Just my game.
Great. Take a rest, man. You deserve it, and congratulations again for reaching the grand final. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much indeed. And yeah, I think exhaustion is probably the key word there. You had every ounce of energy or mental fortitude to try and take that series.
Definitely, because RAISY is not someone easy to go up against, and it took maxter everything he had, and I just hope he can recover in time for the grand finals. So I think he will just be chilling for a bit now, going to definitely be watching the next games and preparing the plan.
Absolutely, and as you can see, maxter has made it to the grand final without dropping a single map.
That's the most impressive part,
and that is the most impressive, exactly.
He played really good players, and he had a lot of close games, even in this first game where he didn't, in the second game rather, versus RMV. It seemed like RMV could have won that map versus Chain. Both maps were close, and versus RAISY it was really close, and he still managed to win 2-0, going to the grand finals without dropping a single map. Very impressive performance.
Certainly is indeed. And just before we go to break, if it's possible to look at the loser bracket as well, because we know that a couple of matches have been played
I'm really
on the B
curious to see
stream.
the results.
But if not, that's perfectly fine. We will get a losers finals bracket match coming up shortly anyway, as it will be going to the losers finals. Again, will be a best of 3. We'll be live picking bands as well. And don't forget that grand final will be a best of 5. But the fact that we're seeing a player like maxter, you know, we're talking about his accolade and how he's progressed so far as a player of the last few years, and the fact that he's making it to the grand final now against some top tier players. And this is some of the best I've seen him perform, probably ever at this stage.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would say the best I had seen him perform. It's like every passing tournament, he just performs better and better, reaching new heights. So when I did the QWC recap 22 at the Chef Tastic TV, we said every time maxter is playing, he's just playing better and better, and we said he was going to keep reaching greater heights. And I want to see what kind of player he is in 1 year, if he's going to be contending for the title, if he's going to stay at the top 3-4 spot, or what he's going to be able to do. Because I think the way he performs and the way he prepares these games and the way he conducts himself, I think he can become the best Quake player in the world.
Certainly could, and he's definitely shown what he can do here. And it's interesting that with RAISY, he wasn't actually making him as uncomfortable as he used to be, just struggled to force his style onto him. As we did have the loser bracket just briefly, as we were going to quickly go through, but we'll keep you updated anyway in terms of what's been happening in the losers quarters and semis, and of course leading up to that losers finals anyway. But in terms of predictions anyway, like you've seen how RAISY's been performing anyway. I think a lot of people probably assumed, you know, for the first time in a long time, RAISY's going to come through to the grand finals on the winner's side.
Yeah.
That was definitely, you know, you're talking if it's an upset or not. I would say it still is, considering
I think it's an upset
the achievements
because
he has.
it was 2-0